When Thomas Aquinas argues for the existence of God, starting from things that come to be and pass away, his reasoning relies on a crucial premise. It relies on the premise that all such things need a cause of their very being. Let's take a deeper look now at his reasons for saying so. When we look at the world around us, we notice that certain things, such as blades of grass, dandelions, and all sorts of animals, come to be and pass away. Since they come to be and pass away, they are able to be and not to be. Thomas Aquinas calls such things possible beings, and he claims that all possible beings need a cause for their very being. Their very being is not self-sufficient or self-explanatory. Why does St. Thomas think possible beings need a cause for their very being? One might say at first that possible beings begin to exist, and whatever begins to exist has a cause. So every possible being has a cause of its coming to be. St. Thomas knows this, of course, but he is saying much more than this in his argument for the existence of God, starting from possible beings. The causal principle he appeals to is that possible beings need not only a cause of their coming to be, but a cause of their very being. Something must account for why they exist here and now, why they are actual. Why does Thomas Aquinas think that possible beings need such a cause of their very existence, or actuality? He says so based on more fundamental metaphysical principles. So let's go through them. First, St. Thomas says, whatever belongs to a thing over and above its essence must be caused either by the principles of that essence or by something exterior. What does he mean? St. Thomas is speaking of something so ordinary many people never even notice it. Each being in the world around us has an essence, and each being also has various features over and above its essence. Suppose you and I are walking through a large park, and all of a sudden you point out a furry animal with a white bushy tail and long floppy ears, and the animal is hopping here and there. If you ask me, what is it? I might answer by saying, it is furry, or it is hopping. In one sense, I have told you what it is. It is furry. It is hopping. In another sense, however, I have not really answered your question. To answer your question, I would have to say, it is a rabbit. Rabbit is the nature, the essence, or the kind of thing it is. Its fur, its ears, its bushy tail, and its hopping around are features of the thing, but not the essence of the thing. Now, those features really belong to the rabbit, but are over and above its essence. To be furry, to have floppy ears, and to have a white bushy tail are features that spring from the very nature of a rabbit. They come from what it is. St. Thomas would say they flow from the principles of the essence. If someone were to catch a rabbit in a box, however, and carry the rabbit from one park to another and release it there, then the rabbit would have yet another feature over and above its essence. The features of being carried, or being in the new park, also belong to the rabbit, but do not flow from the very nature of what a rabbit is. Many rabbits exist without ever having these features at all. These features, rather, come from the person who caught the rabbit, carried the rabbit, and released the rabbit in the new park. In the language of St. Thomas, these features come from an exterior agent, or an efficient cause outside the rabbit. They come from the person who caught, moved, and released the rabbit in a new park. Now, all of this is simply to illustrate a very general principle. Whatever belongs to a thing, over and above its essence, must come either from the essence or from an outside agent. If a tree has leaves, the leaves spring from within the tree, that is, from the principles of its nature. Certain conditions are necessary, of course, but the leaves literally grow out of the tree. If a sidewalk is wet, however, that's a different story. The wetness must come from rain, or a sprinkler, or some other external cause. For the nature of concrete does not account for the wetness of the sidewalk. All the features of all things in the world either come from the essence of the thing or from an outside cause. Every day of our lives we rely on this principle whether we realize it explicitly or not. We explain the features of things either on the basis of their essence or on the basis of an outside cause. Now, what St. Thomas does is apply this principle to all beings other than God, and he does so in light of a second metaphysical principle. the real distinction between essence and existence. Let us recall that in every being other than God, the essence of the thing and the existence of the thing are really distinct. In every being other than God, what the thing is and that it is are two really distinct principles. The essence of a dog is not the existence of the dog. What it is and that it is are not the same in reality, but its essence and its existence are found together in reality in the one whole dog. All those things in which essence and existence are really distinct, yet found together in one overall being, St. Thomas calls a composite being. In a composite being, the essence of the thing is not its existence, but the essence and the existence together compose the whole. The essence of a blade of grass, its whatness, and the existence of it, that it is, are really distinct, but together compose the whole blade of grass. Let's now focus more on composite beings. In every composite being, the existence of the thing is really distinct from the essence, but belongs to the whole being nonetheless. The existence of the thing is like a feature, but is not technically an accident. Existence actualizes the whole, both as a substance and all of its accidents or features. Existence belongs to the whole thing. But because the existence is really distinct from the essence, the existence is over and above the essence of the thing. What we laid down earlier, however, is that whatever belongs to a thing but is over and above the essence of it must either come from the essence or from an outside agent. In all composite beings, therefore, their existence either comes from their essence or from an outside agent. When we consider composite beings, however, we can see their existence does not come from their essence. What a dog is does not account for that it is. What a dandelion is does not account for that it is. What a blade of grass is does not account for that it is. And so on for all composite beings. The existence of composite beings does not come from their essence, and so it must come from an outside agent. In other words, every composite being needs a cause of its very existence. Now we know Thomas Aquinas' reason for saying every possible being needs a cause of its being. Possible beings are composite beings. And in a composite being, existence belongs to the thing, but is over and above the essence of the thing. In composite beings, existence does not come from the essence of the thing, but must come from outside. Going further still, the same holds for necessary beings, permanent beings, that are composite. Even if there were a composite being that has existed without beginning and will exist without end, it would require an outside agent to cause its very being. It does not matter how long a thing has existed or how long it will exist. So long as it is a composite being, it needs a cause for its very being. A composite temporary being needs a cause of its being. A composite permanent being needs a cause of its being. One way or another, regardless of how long they exist, composite beings need God simply in order to be. For readings, podcasts, and more videos like this, go to Aquinas101.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for one of our free video courses on Aquinas. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends, because it matters what you think.